starting off, right? Oh, yeah. Okay.
You really sold out the magnetized ball. Damn. Sorry, man. What you
All right.
Go thy way and show thy people their sinful deeds and their children their wickedness, which they have done against me.
Alright.
That they may tell their
Alright. Want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us his truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful Akim that's teaching and preaching his truth for all righteousness and sincerity. We the Israelites that have prophesied the downfall of Babylon the Great, which is America, to give our people warning that death, destruction, chaos, pandemonium, famine, pestilences is coming to Babylon the Great, man. And it seems like every week when we come to camp, there's always either some prophecies coming to pass or Esau doing some shit.
new judgments.
And we see, it's like, not only do we see, we know that this is the year of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai turning up, man. You got the, we ain't gonna say the monkey business, or whatever bros want to say. We got this new monkey business going on, man. And they saying that it's 92 people here in Babylon the Great that has contracted that disease.
Simian plague, man.
And then they saying here in California that hospitalizations is going up, infections are going up, and that's pretty much the sentiment in all these major states in Babylon. Then you got the famine. They saying, new reports came out saying that there's a 10-week supply of food, man.
Yeah.
Resources. So they foresee, food insecurity.
Everybody's prophesying famine, bro.
Yeah,
even Esau is prophesying famine.
Yeah, that's the vibration that's going on in the world. Then you have this, the infant formula shortages, which they just flew a plane over here with 75,000 pounds of
baby formula.
Yeah, baby formula. But hey, we know Esau the devil. Ain't no telling what's in that formula, man. We don't know if that's tampered with. We don't know if that's touched. You don't know what that is, And then you had a hurricane that went through Michigan, that caused severe damages. And then, prior to that, you had information coming out about the UFOs, which we know that they're the chariots of Israel. These, Esau and the special forces, they came together for the first time in 50 years to discuss the UAPs, which that's a new acronym that they use, unidentified aerial phenomenon. They also call it UAVs now, unidentified aerial vehicles. All right. Then you had the various different meat producing plants all throughout Babylon, randomly catching fires and planes falling into them. Not to mention the tension that's going on in Russia, Ukraine, Babylon the Great putting sanctions, other nations is getting involved. In Russia and Ukraine, these countries are great wheat and grain producing countries. Russia supplies Babylon and other countries with fertilizer. So the farmers ain't gonna have the things that they need going into this next season of harvesting in order for them to have a successful harvest. Then you also have the gas prices. Gas prices are surging up. They saying that in Washington, D.C., that the pumps was running dry, that they can see $10 per gallon. And I know it's a big opening, but it's a lot of stuff going on, man. What you was gonna say?
Rent going up.
They calling it the cost of living crisis, man. Where rent is going up, everything is going up but your pay. And if your pay is going up, it's only going up 50 cents. Right? Women is completely out of order. It's finna be summertime. They projecting a hot girl summer, hot boy summer. You know, then, like I said, it's a lot of information. Now they talking about rolling blackouts, man, affecting from the Midwest all the way to the West in the summer months. All right? So a lot of things is going on, bro. They have a lot of things to talk about, a lot of precepts. And at the end of the day, this is the Lord visiting this place. Can we start with 2 Ezra 15? Unless y'all brothers had an opening precept.
Yeah. Ezekiel 3:17. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me.
The watchmen are the prophets. The warnings is these prophecies, man. And the chief warning is repent and believe the gospel. And that's for the elect of Israel. Because that's what we out here for. If you are outside the elect, this you're not going to dance to this song. It's not going to be a lovely song unto you. You know what I mean? So we are set up to give the people warning. And those that will hear the truth and repent and turn and be converted and worship the true power and call upon his names in sincerity and the truth, like I said, is the elect, man. The remnant, the Israel, the Most High. But the warnings is going out, man. Warnings is going out. And the Lord is, through the act of repetition, is continually just pushing that vibration out there, man. So these people won't have a cloak or excuse for their sins, man.
I got it.
Yeah, you got it.
Book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh Shai coming, for it is nigh at hand.
Now, what is a trumpet? A trumpet is an instrument that you blow that makes a loud noise so people can hear it. Now, this truth is symbolic to that trumpet, because we're out here and we're lifting our voices up like a trumpet, you know? And that noise is being heard abroad by way of the internet, man. By way of the YouTube.
And it's like a song.
Yeah. Once again, all scoffers and gainsayers and unbelievers, they finna get caught out here in the race wars, the famine, the pestilence, the monkey business. All these people's getting destroyed, man. We don't give a damn about this. Whatever you have. Whatever precept, you know, bro, just bring them out.
Isaiah 58:1. Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and shoot my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins.
So the Lord set us up to not only be prophets, but to judge our people, man. We got to show Jacob where they're going off at. All right, the measuring stick on what's righteousness and wickedness is the Bible. You know? All right. You have something to talk about?
We can go 2 Ezra 15.
Yeah. We can go up there and start from the top, Bible Kishon.
Book of 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. Speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, said Yahweh Shai. Cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true.
Yeah, so the prophecies, the prophecy is the testimony about Lord Yahweh Shai. And whoever that's coming in that correct spirit, that will be their conversation, just like the ancient prophets. All right, and these prophecies is chiefly for the Lord's people, which are the Israelites, people that the Lord have made a covenant with through sacrifice, and that has not changed. Now, in the New Testament, you do come across the word Gentiles and strangers, all right, and those who were Gentiles and strangers that believed the gospel, that came the next Sabbath to hear the teachings of Paul, you know, that was scattered throughout the various countries through Asia Minor, you know, the different letters that Paul wrote to, those are Israelites, but they were, you know, driven off into that Greco-Roman Empire. But when the gospel was preached, they repented and turned into the Lord. You know, so these prophecies for the Israelites, no matter what they look like, it's about your spirit.
Quick precept.
Yeah.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 1, verse 5. Go thy way and show thy people their sinful deeds and their children their wickedness which they have done against me, that they may tell their children's children.
Yeah, so that's what we set up to do, man. We're supposed to come out here and show our people their transgressions. Because here in Babylon the Great, which is America, Esau have made Satanism cool. You understand? So You know, being adverse to righteousness, walking in ways that are pleasurable in your eyes, doing things that may seem right unto you. That's what is exalted here.
So like but the righteous more excellent than his neighbor, but the ways of the wicked is seducing them.
Yeah, so Esau seduces our people, but with these different ways of life, you know, in efforts to push out, you know, being yourself.
Freedom.
You know? That's freedom.
That freedom.
And equality and all these other different things, but really it's just it's disguised as liberty and freedom and being who you want, but in all actuality, it's Satanism. You understand? So we're set up to, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem outside, start with our elders and apostles, great millstone, to cast up a way so that they can have a way back into the Lord, man.
Because there's a way that seemeth righteous unto a man. These ways thereof are the ways.
Yeah. So in this society, it's gonna come to a time where everything that these people thought was right is gonna be wrong. It's like the brother quoted: "There's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death." And we know that the wages of sin is death. So sin and iniquity is exalted here. You need the prophets, man.
You know, a precept says, you know, surely the turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. These people growing up in this indoctrinated, you know, mentality here in Babylon, you know, they teach about the feminism and men and women equal rights. And you know, you got this new government coming out with the younger generations, with the Transformers, and you know, they even putting it in the cartoons, man. You know, so these kids gonna grow up thinking that that's right. You know, and that's the manifestation of the precept. You know, that surely the turning of things upside down should be esteemed as the potter's clay. And that's just the way it is to live.
Yeah, and it's when something is esteemed, it's exalted, man. You know, like the brother said, feminism, that's exalted here. Oh yeah, women's rights, and you know, be free, and if you just want to, you know, go after your career and all this shit, just do that. You have the freedom to. My body, my choice, man. And that's all wickedness, and that's another thing that's going on too. Because you got uproars of the inhabitants of this place, and one of the uproars is the whole Roe versus Wade thing, man. You know,
women are fighting for their right to kill unborn children.
Yeah, the right to be murderers, man. But that's the spirit of Esau.
It's Revelation 19:10, and I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said to me, "See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that had a testimony of Yahweh Shah." Words to Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahweh Shah is the spirit of prophecy. So that's the spirit we come in, the spirit of prophecy, man, because that's always about to come. The Lord sends his prophets out because the prophets are the mouthpiece of the Lord, man. You know, and we prophesy the spirit of Yahweh Shah, hitting destruction and peril that's about to go upon the face of the earth.
So for you, this is Hosea 12:10. I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets.
Yes, the Lord, you know, he speaks to the prophets, man. You know, because the Lord himself is not going to come down and teach you the word, man. He has his servants and prophets to do it.
This is 2 Chronicles 36, verse 15. And the Lord, Yahweh, the power of their fathers sent to them by his messengers, rising up betimes and sending.
Yeah, betimes is from the Hebrew shakam, which means early, man. Another word for what's that? Messengers. Messengers are prophets.
Yeah.
Man. You know.
It says because he had compassion on his people.
Yeah, compassion meaning love, man. Because the Lord loves his people, he wants them to be exempt from judgment. But we understand that only the elect in these times are going to repent and be saved, man.
Yeah. And on his dwelling place, but they mock the messengers of the Most High.
And that's what we experience out here all the time, man. People laugh at us, cars honking and doing type of
beeping their horn and shit.
That's the condition of the battle of being
and despise his words.
Despise his words because they don't repent. You know, they loathe, like I said in 2 Ezra 9 chapter, they loathe the law of the Most High.
Yeah. It says, and misuse his prophets.
And misuse his prophets, call the public sons. You know, brothers have been into fights. You know, ages came to camp before, harassing us. You know,
until there was no remedy.
Remedy means aid, man. You know, because the 2/3 that does that, they're not going to have no aid from Yahweh Shema Shah, because the Lord is going to weigh them in the balance, and the wickedness is going to outweigh the balance, and hence why the Lord is going to bring judgment upon them.
Another one. This is Baruch chapter 1, verse 21. Nevertheless, we have not hearkened unto the voice of the Lord.
Now this is Baruch speaking. Now Baruch was a scribe of Jeremiah in the Babylonian captivity. And Baruch is from the Hebrew word Barak, which means blessing.
Yeah.
You know?
Nevertheless, we have not hearkened unto the voice of Yahweh our power, according to all the words of the prophets whom he sent unto us.
Yeah, and they doing the same thing today, man. You know, because back in Baruch's day, you know, he was with Jeremiah. King Zedekiah of Judah, he didn't want to listen to Jeremiah to humble down to the Babylonians and put him in captivity, man. So hence why the Babylonians came and put him in captivity and exiled him from Jerusalem into Babylon.
Yeah, the prophets always had a relationship with the kings. You know, when you read about David's reign, you had Gad the prophet, you had Nathan the prophet, and the prophets were the spiritual advisors. You know, David would go, you know, to inquire of the Lord, you know, and the prophet would tell him, like, look, yeah, you're going to win a war, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you know. So today, it's on a larger scale because the prophets is giving that spiritual counsel, you know, on the highways and the byways, man. But verse 22 in Baruch, the first chapter, it says, but every man followed the imaginations of his own wicked heart.
Yeah, like you brought out earlier, that's the way of Satanism, man.
Of the Lord, our power.
Yeah, so that's when the scripture says he did evil in the sight of the Lord, which was, you know, talking about the kings, talking about them worshiping other gods, man, outside the Lord. Sacrificing their sons in the valley of the mountain, spiritual fornication.
Yep. And the valley of Hinnom is what the New Testament calls hell. Now
that was a place where Israelites would cast out all their dung. You know, so the Lord referenced that to a low condition. He was talking about those Capernaum and stuff.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to flow into the second chapter because it all flows together. It says, therefore the Lord hath made good his word, which he pronounced against us and against our judges that judge Israel, and against our kings, and against our princes, and against the men of Israel and Judah. So on to our tribe. Now I want to mention how, you know, when you read the writings of Moses, Deuteronomy 28, it speaks about the, you know, if you transgress the law, the statutes, and the commandments, you know, serious judgment will come upon our people, whether it was slavery, whether it's an evil eye unto his brother. And here in Babylon, the great, which is America, that evil eye towards the brethren, that didn't start here. You know, when you read, you know, after King Solomon reigned, you had Rehoboam and Jeroboam, which was the southern and northern kingdom, right? And there was enmity amongst the tribes then. So, you know, when we read writings by Baruch or Jeremiah, and we read about our people being in a cursed estate or a low estate, that all goes back to the curses. The curses just didn't apply now. It goes all the way back, you know? So
you said that here. That was before captivity. During that time, we were doing it. Like you said, that was the curse that he applied to us. He was back in.
Right.
Rehoboam and Jeroboam.
Yeah. That's why it's always good to go. That's why it's always good to go into the writings and to the history. You know.
I was gonna say it's a speech I'm trying to find in the Apocrypha. It goes into how they both went off, man. You got Jeroboam went off into idolatry, and Rehoboam, you know, he went off by taking counsel of the young men. You know, scriptures mention that, man. Instead of taking counsel from the elders, he took counsel from the young men and messed everything up. But that was the will of Yahweh Shai.
Yeah. Because he told Solomon that, you know, he wasn't gonna rend the kingdom in your days, but in your son days will I do it. So, you know, the Lord worked on the minds of, you know, Rehoboam and Jeroboam to bring that destruction, man. You know, even when you read about Jeroboam, because Jeroboam, he raised up 2 calves. He put one in, I want to say, in Dan, and then another one in Bethel, which these were areas in the northern kingdom. And through that wicked act and that transgression, what the Lord did was he was going to bring judgment upon Jeroboam's house and cut off all, his lineage. When you read into those chapters, you'll see that the Lord brought judgment on Ahijah, which was Jeroboam's son. He got put to death. So look, man, the Lord, he uses the prophets to do these things. And the prophet was sent to Jeroboam to tell him that, man. Matter of fact, let's get that account since we're speaking on it. And we're going to go into how when Jeroboam went off, a prophet was sent unto him. Well, it's not a prophet was sent unto him. He disguised his wife to go to a prophet, and a prophet pronounced judgment on Jeroboam. And the point that we want to get is how the Lord speaks the word through the prophets, and then they come to pass.
It's directly Abijah.
Oh, Abijah, yeah. So sorry. Yeah, Abijah, yeah. Because the prophet that he sent his wife to, his name was Ahijah, but Jeroboam, he named his son Abijah.
1 Kings 14:1. At that time, Abijah, the son of Jeroboam, fell sick.
Yeah, see.
And Jeroboam said to his wife, Arise, I pray thee, and disguise thyself, that thou be not known to be the wife of Jeroboam.
Jake always had a spirit of supplant, man. That go all the way back to Abraham.
Yeah.
Like he disguised, don't say you my wife, say you my sister.
Yeah.
Isaac did that.
It says, And get thee to Shiloh, behold, there is Ahijah the prophet, which told me that I should be king over this people.
Yeah, because when you go into that history, Jeroboam, he had a new garment, and he was traveling somewhere, and a prophet met him and took his garment and rent it in pieces, and gave him 10 pieces and kept the other 3 pieces, because it was 13 tribes, because Dan was a part, right? So 10 pieces was given to Jeroboam. 3 pieces was left with Solomon, right? So the prophet told him that, look, I've taken the kingdom from Solomon, and I've given it unto, I've given a portion unto you. So now, we just reading and going in a little bit to what's going on with this prophet in Jeroboam.
Yeah, it was just 2 pieces. Just 2 pieces.
Yeah. But it was 13 tribes, though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It was 13 tribes.
It was 13 tribes.
Yeah.
So
we just gave him 2 pieces.
Yeah, he just gave him.
The brothers can read for the reference 29 verse 30.
Yeah.
1 Kings 14 and verse 3. It says, And take with thee 10 loaves and cracknels and a cruse of honey, and go to him. He shall tell thee what shall become of the child.
So what he told his wife was to not only disguise yourself, but when you go to this prophet, you got to bring him an offering.
It says, And Jeroboam's wife did so, and arose and went to Shiloh and came to the house of Ahijah. But Ahijah could not see, for his eyes were set by reason of his age.
Because he's an old man.
Verse 5. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Ahijah, Behold, the wife of Jeroboam coming to ask a thing of thee for her son.
So what probably happened was, through extrapolation, the Lord came into Ahijah in a vision and told him, look, Jeroboam's wife gonna come to you and she gonna ask you some stuff. Because going back to Amos 3:7, the Lord revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets, man. See, the prophets, they have a close relationship with the Lord, man. The Lord shows them things, reveals them things, give them a particular understanding that the people of the world can't receive. Hey, prophets is on a high level, man.
Can I get a quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 17. Let the priests, the ministers of Yahweh, weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, Spare thy people, O Yahweh, and give not thy heritage to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. Wherefore should people say among the people, Where is thy power?
Yeah, let's go
Continuing on verse Kings 14:5 in the middle, it says, "For he is sick, thus and thus
Perfect
shall I
timing.
say unto her, for it shall be when she cometh in, that she shall feign herself to be another woman."
Disguise.
Verse 6, "And it was so, when Ahijah heard the sound of her feet, as she came in at the door, that he said, Come in thou, wife of Jeroboam."
Yeah, because Jeroboam, he was a king. So he heard the sound of her feet. She probably had ankle bracelets and, jewelry and shit on there.
It says, "Why feignest thou thyself to be another?"
So could you imagine that? Here it is. She thinking she finna finesse a prophet. She disguised. And then the prophet opened his mouth up before she even say something and say, "Thou wife of Jeroboam, why did you frame yourself as another woman?"
It says, "For I am sent to thee with heavy tidings."
Bad news, man.
Go tell Jeroboam, thus saith Yahweh God of Israel, for as much as I have exalted thee from among the people, and made thee prince over my people Israel, and rent the kingdom away from the house of David, and gave it thee, and yet thou hast not been as my servant David.
Which David, he was a man after the Most High heart. Now David, king of Israel, he had 3 transgressions. He went off. But the thing is, he never worshiped other gods. He didn't fall down and worship Asherah and Dagon.
Yeah.
These various Moabite gods, Chemosh.
We already pointed out Luke 1:16.
Various different gods. He always worshiped and he praised the Most High, man. But he did go off 3 times. But it was counted to David as righteousness because he only worshiped the Most High, even though he went off. So, we want to have that same type of a record and report, man.
A man after his own heart.
Yeah.
It says, "And yet thou hast not been as my servant David, who kept my commandments and who followed me with all his heart."
See, and that's what we got to do. We keep the commandments the best we can, and we follow Yahweh Shimei Shai with all our heart. So what Ahijah is bringing out about Jeroboam to his wife is that, look, you've been wicked. You worshiping these calves, because when you go into the previous chapter or the previous chapters, Jeroboam was jealous of the southern kingdom because all Israel would go after the southern kingdom and his power and position would be taken away. So he thought it was expedient to bring 2 calves and say, "Hey, look, your gods that delivered you out of Egypt." So he knew that Israel worshiped gods, you understand? And that was an easy way for him to get the northern kingdom to follow after him.
Because that was like a stumbling block. Well,
Literal
it was.
stumbling block.
And the law says, "Thou shalt not put a stumbling block before thy brother."
And then here it is, Jeroboam, he didn't have a son, and he's sick.
It says,
So, and the law does say that a child should not, a child should not deal with the iniquity of the fathers.
Right.
Father. But in this account, we see that. But at the end of the day, the Lord can do whatever he wants. The Lord ain't, the Lord ain't limited.
He's unhindered.
He's unhindered.
Say how David fasted and his kids still died.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it happened to David, too.
Yep.
It says, "And yet thou hast not been as my servant David, who kept my commandments and who followed me with all his heart, to do that only which is right in my eyes, but has done evil above all thy reports. Thou hast gone and made thee other gods, and molten images to provoke me to anger."
Mind you, this is a prophet that's telling Jeroboam's wife this, and look at all these secrets and mysteries about the acts of Jeroboam that's being brought to light by this prophet.
It says, "And has cast me behind thy back."
Meaning he said, "I don't want to deal with that. I ain't dealing with that. I'm finna raise up these guys, have them worship them, make my little money, get my praise, and that's it.
They say today, threw in the background.
It was off the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai casting down them stumbling blocks to further, rent the house of Israel, man.
Yeah.
'Cause, with that action that Jeroboam did, guess what? The Lord cut off his whole house. And then he
Man.
That's the godless. Moab and
How your name?
Edom.
those are like the products of like the forefathers,
It's gonna go to verse 14. We'll keep reading.
We'll read to the point that we said way back to the prophecies. Okay.
I'll finish it.
All right, we got it.
So Luke chapter 1, verse 68, keep on in that verse 7. Blessed be Yahweh Shem Shai, the power of Israel, for he has visited and redeemed his people, and raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. God. Alright, so verse 68, Luke chapter 1 and 68. Blessed be Yahweh Shem Shai.
This is John the Baptist, Zechariah speaking. After the Lord opened up his, because he was blind.
John the Baptist's father, is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh, I said it wrong. Yeah, it's like John the Baptist's father, Zechariah. It's like,
Blessed be Yahweh Shem Shai, the power of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David.
which is Yahweh Shai, because horn represents power. And that's Yahweh Shai will come with that power real soon, man, to deliver his elect of Israel through the chariots,
As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began.
So the prophet's been here since the world began, since we read the book of Genesis.
That we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us.
Yeah, that's what the Lord going to do by way of Yahweh Shai. Because he's the only one that can redeem us. No other man can't redeem us but the Lord Yahweh Shai himself.
And that's how you can judge actual biblical truth. If they're coming in the name of the tabernacle of David, and speaking to the tabernacle of David. Otherwise, all the prosperity in the world is not going to save you if you're not in that tabernacle of David, not the Israel of the Most High.
I got the next one.
Yeah, and then after that, we can get back to 2 Esdras 15.
Yep. All right. Because basically meaning saved from our enemies, man. All right. Which is talking about brothers staying in 2 Esdras 15, the hands of our enemies, man. Esau, Edom. All right, 2/3. All these different factors out there that's going to be set up as judgment upon the people. All right. We're going to bring out Ezekiel chapter 9 and 4. And Yahweh Shem Shai said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sign that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Alright? Alright, so basically, it's Yahweh Shem Shai putting out a mark upon the men that sign the cry. This is not a mark of destruction, alright, like some camps would have you believe, trying to sow confusion, and try to, for some reason, link that up with the Quran or something like that. This is a mark of exemption, man. Alright, the men that sign the cry. That's what we're doing now with the Spirit, man. Lord willing, we're up that number. We get put on that mark of exemption from the coming judgment. Alright, it's going to further expound on that. Verse 5. Alright, and it reads it to the others instead of my hearing. Now, the others is given to 2/3.
No. This is the angels. Far from the top. So we can understand what's being spoken of.
He cried, the book of Ezekiel chapter 9 and 1. He cried also in mine ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand.
Now these are angels that is set up to bring judgment upon Jacob.
And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate.
So these 6 men were angels. Remember, one angel had the writer's inkhorn to put a mark of exemption upon the men that signed that cry. So the others, which was the other 5 angels, they went about the city destroying.
Let's keep reading. 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which fly towards the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand, and one man among them was clothed with linen, with a writer's inkhorn by his side.
So we're gonna read about the task of the angel with the writer's inkhorn.
Alright? By his side, and they went in and stood beside the brazen altar. And the glory of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was, to the threshold of the house, and he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side.
So that's the writer's inkhorn by his side, chariot. You know, you got angels, you got chariots. You know, the Most High is finna get down.
Alright? And Yahweh Hashem Yahushua set up the hands, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that signed that cry, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Now, do your breakdown on that.
God, so that's dealing with the man that's given the mark of exemption. These are the men of the elect.
Yep.
God, okay, yes, like so it was out of context.
Yeah.
All right, so it says to the others,
To the others.
angels.
Yeah, the other 5 angels. So in the 4th verse, the angel singular with the writer's inkhorn, he's giving his command. Boom. The 2nd verse is the other 5 angels, they're giving their commands. Go ahead.
God. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him.
You don't think Esau about Shem Yahushai in Proverbs, the 1st chapter goes into it, is you gotta have subtlety and craftiness. You gotta know how to think righteous, and you gotta know how to think how these devils think, man.
Wisdom.
You know, that's the full spectrum. You know, you gotta be wise as serpents. You know, and a serpent is a dragon, which dragon, when you go into that word, is Draco, which is, having very, like, crafty and shrewd, like, tendencies, man.
Sneaky, man.
You know?
I was going to say, too, the Lord is not a respecter of persons, man. I did a lesson, yesterday, where you had a Latin tribe, all right, you had an elderly lady, she had dementia, which, her spirits, them Latin tribe, they be into the idolatry, so they're susceptible, to catching spirits, man. The lady had a knife on her, and then they called the cops, all they wanted was the cops to subdue the lady. They pull out a taser, maybe tackle her or calm her down, use certain words to calm her down. That cop straight up pulled out the sword and shot down the old lady, the Latin tribe old lady, man. All right, and that goes to show, first of all, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is not a respecter of persons. All right, and second of all, that he's turning, he's putting the spirit on Esau to turn against the Eves, man. Because here it is, them ladies, there's nothing but ladies coming out that house. They looked at the cop like he was finna fix everything, and he went up and shot the lady, man. And now they all there mourning.
Judgment will begin at the house of the Most High.
Exactly.
Hey, you know what? Another thing that we forgot to mention was that the massacres, man. You know, these mass shootings. You know, all at that Buffalo, that grocery store in Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
All those women that was put to death, those are all like Big Mama, Grandma.
Yeah.
You know,
Churchgoers
in the front row.
Good Christian.
You know, there was a man there that was buying the birthday cake for his son.
Oh my goodness.
You understand? And the Lord used Esau to do it, man. The sword, man. Then out here, you had motherfuckers getting shot at Hardee's last night. It was a shootout. You know, so hey, man, this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. And as Yahweh Shai said in Matthew the 24th chapter, this is the beginning of sorrows. This is the beginning of it. But yeah, we can finish reading Ezekiel. We might as well just read that whole chapter.
All right, and it reads, all right, so like continuing on in verse 6, and it reads, slay utterly old and young, and both maids and little children and women. Come
Forget
not
them
near.
women.
You got it.
Do not forget them women. You know, because these women, especially in these times, man, it's going to be a lot of judgment falling on women. In fact, the ratio is 7 women to 1 man. So it's going to be way more women that get put to death, judged, brought to destruction than it is men.
Because they've exalted themselves greatly.
Yeah. They fully, man, they done drunk all the wine of the fornication of this devil. All the philosophies, man.
They forgot they had fake hair on their head.
Yeah. Makeup and shit,
and all
man.
that shit. They forgot all that.
I was just thinking, like, on the way over here, I saw a woman I was picking you up. Well, at the light, you know, you could tell she was, yeah, you know, she done grew up in the corporate world and she been working for Esau and these jobs and college and all that shit. And I was just thinking, when I saw this woman, hey, she won't be able to keep not one man just because she's in patterned her life after Esau's. You know, and Esau hate Jacob. Yeah. So in turn, you women, y'all gonna hate the Israelite men.
And they feel entitled. Just like the enemy.
Yeah.
All right, and it reads, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark.
So, see, stories like this, history, these different accounts that we read, we got to be playing those in our minds now. Because like I said, Isaiah 33:6, can we get it real quick?
Isaiah 33:6. It says, "In wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. In strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord Yahweh is his treasure."
So the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding is going to be our stability, which when you go into that word is faith. So having these writings in our mind in the time that we're entering into is going to have us stable, because we'll know that, look, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and his mercy falling on me and, you know, keeping me and allowing me to endure into the truth, I believe I have a great chance to escape the judgment. So I'm going to use the wisdom that I accumulated before Jacob's trouble happened to allow me to be stable in these times that I'm in. And you're going to be remembering accounts like Ezekiel 9. Well, I remember when Ezekiel was on the scene, you know, he was a righteous man. You know, he was a prophet. He stood up for truth. And death was happening all around him, but he didn't die, you know? So I believe that I will receive the same mercy that Ezekiel received. So having that thought process will have you to be stable and having faith in the time that you in. Not being tossed to and fro, shaking and terrified, you know? Those are writings. And then what that do, when you read those writings and then you build up your faith upon the writings, that is pleasing unto the Lord, because now what you're showing is you trust the Lord. You don't trust the Lord by just looking up, having your arms crossed and saying, oh, I just trust God. Like, you trust in the Lord by the things that's written here in the scripts. You know? Like, for example, Ecclesiastes 33, there shall no evil happen unto him that fear the Lord. You put your trust in that, that means you're putting your faith in the Lord. You know? And that's what he's looking for, man.
Like Shadrach,
Meshach, and Abednego. You gotta read. Ain't no just, I read that when I first came in the truth. I read that before. You gotta, there's some stories you gotta read often, like Psalm 91. We go through that all the time, man. The Maccabees. You go through these different historical events and you read about the men of the Lord that put their trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and you read about the deliverance that was had for those guys. You know? That's what you gotta do, man.
Because we're going to be believing in those days.
Yeah.
Do no evil thing and no harm will come to you. You got to believe that.
Yeah.
And just, the only thing you got to do is know evil things.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's faith right there. That's going to save you.
Yeah.
Judges with Samson. Now you went through that truth, man. When the job of an ass, heaps upon heaps.
Yeah. Yeah, but you remember things like thou shalt not steal. You know, we already know these motherfuckers finna be looting Walgreens, looting the grocery store. And you're gonna be hearing about, man, you know what, hey, I got a house full of chicken. And I stole the chicken and I stole the generator. We finna be cooking all night. but then you later on you find out the whole house burnt down. Got raided. Burnt down. Oh, that's judgment, because he stole all that shit.
Yeah, like 2 Corinthians 15, where it says, "The man shall have no pity upon his neighbor and stole his house."
Yeah, see, and we're gonna get that.
And find that precept of thou shalt not steal alone, that proves that the Lord will provide for you. Because if you're not out here stealing, the Lord will have to provide for you some way, somehow.
Yeah. And man, look, The Lord have shown brothers many accounts how certain things just literally fall in our laps, or just literally we'll be walking and oh shit, boom,
My phone.
you know, like accounts of, you know, like you said last week, huh? Huh?
Say don't miss me on the camera. I don't want that.
No, bro, this is your testimony, bro. This give other brothers faith. I know it's not about you. It's about what the Lord did for you that increased your faith, that increased other brothers' faith. This brother was at work last week, and a woman gave him food, man. And like the brother said, that was, you know, that was a faith booster, and that was uplifting, especially going into the times that we're going into, man. There's gonna be people that's gonna be, oh look, here, boom. And when there's accounts of men of the Lord receiving food from people.
Oh, I got when I was at a gas station, you know, car was about to run out of gas. I only had like $4. You know, I put $4 just to get myself home, which was enough. And the guy did a taboo, put $40. Instead of $4, put $40.
See?
You know, which is more than enough for me to get home and then, you know, do a lot of things too. You know,
See?
That's an example of how Yahweh Shemel dress when you're looking out for the elect, man. Brother might be starving, like, oh man, like can't eat, and then boom, you go across the stockpile full of food. You know, probably some one of those doomsday vault dwellers, you know what I'm saying, got put to death somewhere in the field, left this thing open, you know, and then boom, you got food.
Yeah, or you stumble across a backpack with hellish shit in there. So the Lord is going to be lifting up standards for brothers or divine intervention. So we can finish going back in Ezekiel 9.
Come. All right, and it reads, all right, and they began at the ancient of men that were before the house. Mm-hmm. And he said unto them, defile the house and fill the courts with the slain. Go ye forth. And they went forth and slew in the city.
So these angels got down.
And it came to pass, while they were slaying them, and I was left, I fell upon my face and cried, and said, O Yahweh Shemi Hawashai, my power, wilt thou destroy all the residue of Israel in thy pouring out of thy fury upon Jerusalem?
So from what Ezekiel saw, it looked like the Lord was killing all Israel, man. You know? And this also confirms that Ezekiel, he was one of the ones that sighed in that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst of that place. And he received the spiritual mark of exemption. Because he said, I was left. You know? Them angels ain't gonna be making no mistakes and coming back to the Lord and saying, oh, you know what? One of the men that we put mark of exemption on, we didn't kill him, but he did, you know, break his leg though. You know?
Hey, like the son of
You feel me?
the son of the Edomite king that went to Egypt.
Yeah.
And we read about that got raised. I forgot his name, but he went to Egypt and then
Hey, Dad. Yeah, that, yeah.
He rose up against Solomon.
Yeah.
Count like that.
God, yeah.
Well, his son got away, you know what I'm saying? We got all the other men.
Yeah. But you know, we know that happened because the Lord has stirred up adversary in Solomon. You know,
It was all
They had to be. They'll have to be rulers anyways this time.
yeah. Because they had a future. See, if we are the men of the Lord willing, you know, we endure to the end, and the Lord keep us fervent in His truth, then we have a future. So, you know, the Lord has a certain path that we're gonna walk through to be able to get us to that side. You know, to get us to the future. You understand?
And more than likely, there'll be a degree of difficulty to it.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what the Most High masters, saving people.
Yeah.
Alright, so continuing on going, and it reads, then he said unto me, the iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceeding great.
Is not? Do we not see that today? The iniquity, which iniquity is sin upon sin of the house of Judah and the house of Israel is great. Do we not see that today? You got the Israelite woman out there alongside Karen, the Edomite, the Shedemite, talking about my body, my choice, man. That want to have rights and things signed in legislation that give them the power to murder.
Murder unborn children.
That's predestinated.
Can't even defend themselves.
Premeditated.
All over their selfishness, man. All over their selfishness.
Because they got a career. They ain't got time for that.
Hey, well, you know, you got a comedian, he came out, I forgot his, was it Chris Rock? It was somebody, he said, it was a J comedian, he said, And that's how life is decided here in America. You know, oh, no, you can't have the baby. You're supposed to go on vacation this time around. This and that. You know, just like that. That all over selfishness.
It's that casual, yo.
All right. Continuing on in the reason, the land is full of blood, and the city full of perverseness.
That's what we see, full of blood, murders, you know, shootouts, drive-bys. You understand? And the land is full of perversion. The LGBT community, the alphabet people, the scary people.
They say, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua have forsaken the earth. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua seeth not.
Yeah, so they believe that the Lord ain't, you know, ain't around. You know, and you got jakes with that mentality. Oh, you know, if there is a God, then why is all this stuff happening to us? It's just stupid niggas, man. Well, if there is a God, why he let those babies die? You know?
You know, I was thinking about that too, like, you know, with the account in Ezekiel 9 with the angel slain, you know what I'm saying? You probably could have had a kid, you know, deemed innocent or whatever, which I'm not saying innocent like completely, but you know, he had to answer something in his past life, and the lot just fell upon him that he had to answer for it on that lifetime.
Yeah, well, say old and young, both maids and little children. Right. A little child, you know, 5, 4 years old. You know,
these people, you know, that want to put the Lord in a box, and you know what I'm saying. That should ultimately make you fear Yahweh. What's up, brother? That should make you fear the Lord more. Right? That he would not spare old and young, little children, infants. You know, that should make you on your P's and Q's with Yahweh.
And all these people that just walk down casually past the prophets, just like I say, it wasn't a Solomon 5. That made no account of our labors. These are the same cats that's gonna, well, what's going on? Why is all this stuff happening? Why is everybody dying? Why is there no food? What is the economic collapse? Why did nobody warn us? These are gonna be the same people saying all that, man. Yeah. These are gonna be the same people that's gonna be begging for mercy. Please, please, we'll do anything. These are gonna be the same people that's gonna be in them long ass chipping lines. These women that pass by, these gonna be the same women that's crawling up and down these streets, these sidewalks with their hair ripped out, garments tore, then got raped, bruised countless times,
lace front hanging off,
broken jaws, all that, man. Talking about some help. But see, when the hand was stretched out, which that's a form of assistance,
trying to smack the hand away.
You pulled the shoulder, man.
Yeah.
All right, and it reads, verse 10. And as for me also, mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity.
The Lord ain't gonna be having pity for these people. The Lord ain't gonna be giving a fuck, man. The scriptures speak about how the Lord loves his judgment.
Known by his judgment.
You know?
Love it.
You know? Man, that's all you see is the uptick in scoffers, man. See, everything is fun and games right now when you're able to connect your phone to Bluetooth and play some oldies, ride a bike up and down the street, going to the store and getting something to eat real quick. Everything is fun and games and laughter. When you high, you feel me? You just hit the pipe, you know? You just did your thing. You know, you are fentanyl and Zans, and you off of Percocets, opioids,
Molly's.
Everything is fun and games, man. Everything is ha ha he he, pointing this shit.
Kiki.
But it's gonna come a time where, look, you gonna feel the presence of death out here, man.
Damn the Lord.
You got it, bro.
But I will recompense their way upon their head. Spirit. And behold, the man clothed with linen, which had the inkhorn by his side, reported the matter, saying, I have done as thou hast commanded me.
So that's an angel. See the angels, they do the bidding of the Lord in the earth, and then they go back into the presence of the Lord, and they present themselves, and they say, I have done all that you have commanded me. You know? So look, these angels, they ain't playing no games. You got a precept for them?
Psalms 103 and 20. Bless the Lord Yahweh, ye his angels that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening to the voice of his word. The angels are very obedient to Yahweh Shai, man. Like that Dr. Christian's books that Satan was cast out of heaven and rebelled against the Most High. No.
And took a third of the angels with him.
Yeah. So this is the piece to back that up.
That's not happening.
This is 2nd Ezra 7. Start at 19. And he said unto me, there is no judge above the Most High, and none that have understanding above the highest. For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of the Most High that is set before them.
Yeah, that applies first to thirds of our people, man. Like the rest of the heathen nations. You know? Because a lot of people on the earth right now was created in vain. You know? And the only ones that wasn't created in vain, the world is to come, are the elect men of Israel, man.
It says, 21, for the Most High have given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment.
Yeah, to observe, to avoid punishment, which is what? You know, not worshiping other gods, man. That's the main commandment, you know?
Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him and imagined vain things.
Yeah, and how do they do that? By way of the prophecy, you know? Because Jake expresses all their feelings towards the prophets, how they feel against the Most High, you know?
Yeah. It says 23, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not and knew not his ways.
Yeah, you know? So, hey, they're going to get judged, man. He is not the Lord of judgment, you know, because they have been deceived greatly by the so-called white man in Christianity that Lord doesn't kill people.
Yeah.
He loves everybody.
He loves everybody.
And I want to add this too. You Christians, y'all are the biggest Satan worshipers.
Con.
And here's why I came to that understanding. Because every time something bad happens, you glorify Satan. Oh, that's Satan. Oh, Satan. That's Satan. You ever thought that, okay, maybe this is the Most High doing this because I've been doing some off shit lately? You know? Hey, how you doing? All right now. All right now. All right. You people ever thought, like, okay, maybe that wasn't Satan. Maybe that was the Most High sent a righteous angel to do this to me, because Derek, a drunk driver, fucked his truck up yesterday, and he all on the Instagram. Oh, that's just Satan. That's Satan right there. Showing the car. That's Satan right there. Like, you giving Satan too much praise and glory,
Man.
Christianity is not founded upon the true teachings of the Bible. It's founded on pagan worship, such as the Immaculate Conception, Virgin Mary,
Guadalupe.
You know, teaching that the son, you know, didn't have a father.
Oh yeah.
Yahushua didn't have a biological father.
He doesn't even have a color.
Yep.
Christianity.
Worshiping all these pagan holidays.
Yeah.
Christmas, Halloween, which is syncretism. You know, syncretism is when you put all these pagan beliefs into a religion. And that's what Christianity is. It's all about pagan. So when we say we're not Christians, they don't understand that because we're coming from the Bible. When we say we're not Christians, meaning we don't follow the curriculum that Esau held as a doctrine to teach these people of the world, man. You know?
Salaki. Here's another scripture to back up what you were saying about how they worship. They give Satan the glory. Psalm 68:20, he that is our power is the power of salvation, and unto the power Yahweh belongeth the issues from death. So when somebody dies, you don't just run to Satan and blame Satan.
That's Satan.
You know what I'm saying?
They say that more than, you know, Lord, or praising the Most High. 2nd Ezra 7:24, but his law have they despised, and denied his covenants, and his statutes have they not been faithful.
Yeah, and they don't have to verbally say they deny it. They deny it by way of their actions, not want to repent, man. You know?
And have not performed his works.
Because this is the children of disobedience, as it says in the New Testament, man.
Yep.
You know? So the Lord's going to lead them forth unto the workers of iniquity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unto Esau, man. That sword that you're not going to be able to escape from, man.
Yeah.
Because once the Lord puts the spirit on Esau to have you in captivity, to have you at his will, Esau not going to show mercy, man. You know? Even it says in Ezekiel 35 that, Isaiah 47, I believe, that thou hast showed them no mercy, man. How much more for an individual in the truth that forsake the Lord, went back to the world, the Lord definitely going to leave for Esau.
It's like it because you said
Pass the Lord behind your back.
the righteous will scarcely be saved.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? They barely gonna get in there.
So, what would those men scarcely be saved? How much more for the sinner and the ungodly? They not scarcely be saved.
They're going to be destroyed utterly now. Utterly destroyed now. It's going to be as a flood, you know, when the flood comes through, it wipes away everything, man. Everything.
Yeah. And then verse 25. And therefore answers for the empty are empty things, and for the full are full things. So
The empty.
you got
The empty meaning vain. And all these people are vain to the Lord, man. You know? Because you're just a waste of space. Because if you're not doing what he said, which this is our will, this is our this is what we're supposed to do as
Our
Israelites,
faithful
man.
service.
Our faithful service. You know, is to fear Yahweh and keep his commandments. That's what our whole purpose on earth to do. So if you're not doing that, it's like men and women, then you're vain. You're empty.
Yeah.
You know?
Because it says, which is the whole duty of man in Ecclesiastes.
verse 26. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told thee shall come to pass.
Tokens mean, it don't mean no token that don't
Took cheese token.
Yeah.
Bus token.
Yeah, the bus
means-
token.
Token means signs.
Yeah.
You know?
Here it goes. And the bride shall appear, and she coming forth shall be seen, that now is withdrawn from the earth. So this bride is the elect, man. And whosoever is delivered from the aforesaid evils shall see my wonders.
That's why you gotta stop. You got people that laugh at us. Like I was saying, man, it's not gonna be fun and having fun when judgment go out, man. You know?
The scriptures say, the brother can find it, when there's, in the time of affliction, there's no remembrance of,
Right.
you know. Yeah.
I got a quick piece of, you know, what the brother said. Proverbs 1 and 26.
And it's like they have no cloak for their sin because they see you out in the blood. They see you as so-called Hispanic. So they can't say, oh, I didn't know this was about our people and
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's a black thing.
Yeah.
Or it's just black people doing
Well,
stuff.
you saw like the earlier group of Issacharites that walked past, you know, they kind of disrespectful. What's up, brothers? You know, when it said that, which that's, you know, that goes back to that prison lingo, man. You know what I'm saying? You got the homies, which is the so-called Hispanics, right? The Mexicans and the Salvadorians. Everybody that's Hispanic.
You got the Peckerwoods.
And you got the Woods. You know, basically the
Woods.
white boys.
Right.
And you got the brothers.
Brothers, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, in this truth, we call each other brothers. You know
Call
what I'm
each
saying?
God, I got.
We say Akim, you know, sometimes when we say brother, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is, but we don't refer to, you know, in a political way. I can feel like the vibration of that, and they like, oh, he's the brothers, like he's the blacks. You know what I'm saying? They got the little race trading, you know, Hispanic right there.
They're in the outer court.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man.
They're standing without.
It's just gonna be destroyed, man. Alright, but bringing out the precept, Proverbs chapter 1 and 26. Alright, I also will laugh at your calamity. Alright, I also, meaning I too will laugh at your calamity. Since you want to laugh at the prophets, which is the mouthpiece of Yahweh Hashem El Shai, we brought out
Well,
in the book in the book of Luke, chapter 1 and 70, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, 68 through 70. Alright, hey, you laughing at the Lord. You're not just laughing at us, you're laughing at the Lord. Alright, guess what? The Lord is also going to laugh at you.
And the Lord gonna laugh to us, man. We gonna laugh.
He who sent me. That's your
You don't think we're gonna be laughing at these people when death and destruction coming on them? And then the Lord be putting us in remembrance of, oh, this was one of, just like we read about Ahijah, how the Lord told him all this stuff about Jeroboam. You don't think the Lord gonna do that with us? He gonna have us remember certain things, and a lot of men and women gonna be getting put to death, man. Straight up. Women gonna be getting raped.
Feminine view.
We said that. The Lord's putting out a golden spirit on us.
We just don't like, man, bro. When the Most High give us that power, let's get some spiritual power precepts.
Yeah, please.
I'm thinking about Zechariah.
Hey. Get that sheet right there.
I got to get Isaiah chapter 59 and 19.
Yeah, all of our spiritual power precepts, man.
Isaiah 59 and 19. We go into the Hebrew. We're talking about, the fly towards the attack, horseback. Power.
I got one.
Yeah, bro.
Isaiah 40 and verse 29. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might, he increaseth strength. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord Yahweh shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. So that's that spiritual power. You know, it says, they shall mount up with wings as eagles, because the eagles fly. So the Lord is going to grant the elect men of Israel that spiritual power to be able to fly, man. You know, which that's going to be a marvel in itself, man, because no people never seen a person flying. You know, I mean, with Esau, he got his little, jetpacks and stuff.
And them jetpacks got to load up, man. They got to load. I already saw a video. He was right there just
and refuel.
Waiting for it to load up, and then he take off.
If he was coming after you, he would have been got.
Not only does he load up, they got to refuel after a while. You better keep flying.
I got Micah 5 and 7. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people as a dew from Yahweh, as the showers upon the grass that tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of men. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles, in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks or of sheep.
And you know what a young lion do with sheep, man? They tear it up, they eat it, they devour it. So when the elect men of Israel get that power, they're going to be devouring you people, man. 2/3 of Israel, the rebels, as the scriptures call them, and the heathens, man.
Yep.
You know?
Who, if he go through, both teareth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver.
Yeah, so you ain't gonna be able to deliver yourself, man. The Lord ain't gonna deliver you, because it's gonna be the Lord that's delivering you up to the brother that got that got spiritual power, man. That's part of the elect. You know?
And the Lord gonna make us terrible out here, man. We not finna be like, when you watch the DC movies, they got spiritual power, which they really represent the prophets. But you know how Superman, he clean shaven and it's no, we gonna be terrible and dreadful to y'all people. Eyes glowing red,
Hancock.
you feel me? Bro's gonna be able to disappear and terrify you like that invisibly. The Lord gonna have us getting down out here, man. We're not finna be the Mr. Nice Guy, bringing destruction.
Add on with that, just being around us, people will feel that aura. Like, I don't know if you ever been around, when someone gets pissed and you feel that energy. You know what I'm saying? Just being around us, people gonna feel that fear, man.
Yeah.
And it's prophesied we're gonna be meditating terrorists anywhere.
We already doing that now.
See?
We already doing that now.
And the elect, they gonna know the Lord is with them, man. There ain't gonna be no doubt, none of that. They gonna be walking with confidence, everything.
And
There ain't gonna be no, is the Lord with me? No.
Yeah.
The elect, the service of Yahweh Shem Shai, get that power, they gonna know the Lord is with them.
It say that then they shall know that I am Yahweh. Yeah. I'm still over here.
All
right, this is continuing on in Micah 5 and 9. Thy hand shall be lifted up upon thy adversaries, and all thy enemies shall be cut off. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahweh, that I will cut off thy horses out of the midst of thee, and I will destroy thy chariots. And I will cut off the cities of thy land and throw down all thy strongholds. So the Lord will switch all this shit up. It ain't gonna be cars, just how it is right now. Traffic, people walking You know, it's the cool of the day. Lord finna switch all this shit up, man. And it says, and I will cut off witchcrafts out of thy hands, and thou shalt have no soothsayers, because you ain't gonna be able to go to no church. These witches, these warlocks, these spiritual people, they ain't gonna have the answers. They're not gonna be able to give you information to flee from the wrath that's to come. People gonna be rubbing stones and wearing their stones and all that. Nothing gonna be happening, man. People gonna be burning incense, smudging their houses, because you know they do that to their false gods.
Yeah.
You know, they doing that. Not saying that that's wicked, but it's wicked when you do it in the name of false gods. We do it in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, the stones, the incense. You know, but the point is, these people that's into soothsayers and witchcraft and all this other stuff, these tarot cards, none of that shit was going to deliver these people. It says, thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing image out of the midst of thee. Different statues and shit people bow down and worship.
Shrines.
Yep.
Shrines. You know, I be seeing like over there in Long Beach where you at, right now, PCH. It's like a Queen of Heaven statue right there, and they be putting roses and beads around their neck and all that shit.
When I was out by the beach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There ain't gonna be none of that. It ain't gonna be none of that. It says, and thou shalt no more worship the work of thy hands, and I will pluck up the groves out of the midst of thee. So will I destroy thy cities, because it's gonna be lockdowns, shutdowns, checkpoints, freeways cut off. The power grid is gonna be ain't no stopping at no red lights. The red light's not even on. You know what I mean? The water, the water getting into your neighborhoods, that's gonna be cut off. All that shit is gonna be cut off.
And these streets, they're gonna be smelling bad too, because all that human waste is gonna go in that sewer, and it's gonna cause the earth to sink. Plus the dead bodies that's gonna be all over the floor.
Not to mention the insurrection. Ain't nobody gonna want to move in.
You know what? I want to bring this to attention too. You know, on like Bible apps and stuff like that, how they'll pull up the precept of the day. You know, they'll never bring up precepts like this. Precepts of the day you would never run across that on the precepts of the day.
John
So each
16, 5 days.
yeah, all day. Like stuff to make you feel all queasy.
Yep.
Verse 15, last verse, and I will execute vengeance and anger and fury upon the heat, such as they have not heard. So the Lord is going to be doing new shit.
I got a picture to back you up. Alright, the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 14. Alright, or I'm going to start verse 13. For I, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. Fear not, thou one of Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, said Yahweh Shem Yahushai, thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. And thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shalt make the hills as chaff. All right, and to back up what the brother was saying, you know, with the witchcrafts and all that stuff, you know, you go to the Hebrew word for hills, one of the definitions is an illicit place of worship, man. So all these groves, all these idols, you know, like the brother just brought out, man, brother might throw a fireball at that fucking Queen of Heaven statue, man. You know what I'm saying? A brother might send a travailing wind, not travailing, a destroying wind to the Bohemian Grove, man. You gotta see that Molech statue fucking sticking out of a fucking skyscraper somewhere in that region, man. You know, it's gonna be terrible, man. All right, and it reads, verse 16: Thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them. And thou shalt rejoice in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and shalt glory in the Holy One of Israel. All right,
So it's going to be present chariots.
and another point I wanted to bring out, you know, the brother was reading Micah chapter 5, right? Micah 5. God, you know, hey, what are we going to be liking unto these people like lions and sheep, right?
The lions among on the sheep.
God, a sheep is completely defenseless against the lion, man.
Yeah.
A sheep is completely defenseless against the lion. What can a sheep do? What can a sheep do that's gonna stop a lion, man, from eating it up?
Yeah,
aside
so-
from just run away or what can a sheep possibly do? And that's the similitude that Yahweh Shem Shai is using with the elect against these heathens, man. Because you got Esau, number one enemy. What is this blessing? The sword. All right, and he's gonna be made defenseless compared to us. So that has to mean that we're gonna get spiritual power, man.
Even the feeble. I was just gonna say, even the feeble will be as David.
Because us as a nation already, without Esau and his guns, his heathens guns and stuff, the artillery, we already lions amongst them already. So how much more?
Yep.
When the Lord give us lower the part of his men, give us that power, man. Because they already fierce when they walk down the street.
I was about to say that.
Surface, man.
When we out here on the highways and hedges and you Moabites and you Ammonites and you Edomites walk by, y'all be looking defenseless. You little bitty Moabite women and sandals and shit. And then you'll occasionally you'll see the occasional Moabite man walking with his chest out. But that's just a front. They're like chihuahuas, man. They bark. As soon as you stump your feet out on their run.
Yep. And start barking way over there.
And bark way down the street somewhere where you barely can hear them.
But when they be at their stores, they be all steer in the store.
Well, but it's because right there, this is the county, right? And right here, they got a loaded ass shotgun.
They got that shotgun, that Glock down there.
That's why they proud like that, because they know, he ain't got nothing. They train. They on their off time, if they're not doing karaoke, they're at shooting ranges, man.
Yep.
And they picking up, doing simulations.
Karaoke.
They go set up shit. This all on YouTube, man. They go and set up little simulations. You laying down, you hop up, you get your gun, and you go through the little mock house.
Yeah.
They do that shit on their own time, man.
Paintball and shit.
And when we went paintballing years ago, that's all you saw was Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites. Yeah. And we in there with shorts on and t-shirts. They in there fully look like
full fatigue and shit off the
This dude, he had shield, buckle, belt, feet side, plates.
We had t-shirts,
camouflage and shit.
There. We out there, jewelry on. And guess what? We won the war, man. We won.
They wanted to take pictures with us.
Oh yeah, that was like 10 Moabites. They all wanted to take pictures with us because the Lord made us that valiant that day.
Thou one Jacob, the Lord is with thee.
I got a quick piece of Leviticus 26. Yeah. That was like years ago, 2017. Leviticus 26:8. It says, "And 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight."
So it ain't gonna take a lot of us to put in work.
And your enemies shall fall before you by the sword.
Then they're gonna be dropping, they're gonna be dying, and we're gonna be stepping right over them. You don't think Evelyn Rothschild know that?
The apostle was saying on the last year yesterday that they had bought this book. I forgot what it was called, like $10 million. Who knows? I think it was the Library of Congress that bought the book for $10 million. I forgot what the book was called, but best believe there's some shit in there that Esau know pertain to us that we got hella power.
Esau probably got the real book of Yasha.
Yeah, you probably get it right. Because the apostle was saying that the Library of Congress, it goes back to 5,000 years.
Yeah.
So they got a lot of,
Esau probably got the actual book of the wars of the Lord, the Chronicles of the Kings. Esau probably really got those books.
The records of certain records.
Yeah, you know how you read and they say, "Oh, isn't it not written in the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah?" This and that.
I believe that because Esau, he's obsessed with us. So he wants to know everything to the T about us, by way of these books that was written with our forefathers and mighty men.
And you know what's a great example of how these Edomites be obsessed? When you watch boxing, and then people be such and such out of Compton. You know, he spent his earlier years doing this and that and this and that. He went to this college. He went to that college. And he soared up in the ranks and he did this and that. He has a flaming right hook. Esau does all this research on
all the
boxers,
statistical
man.
research and shit. They got facts and shit. They got dates and times and shit.
So Esau, he bring out all that shit on Jake. You know, all that, when you watch basketball and them numbers and data and statistics, he averaged this amount of points, this and that, he's this tall, he weighs this amount, he's from this town, he went to this high school, Esau gets all into that research on Jake, man.
And Jake just want to watch the game. They want to see moves. They don't need all that.
Let's just watch the game.
That's Esau.
Another example is this dude named Nardwuar on YouTube. He like some journalists. He goes up to rappers and he be giving them presents about things that they used to like, and they be like, "Yo, how do you know this? Like, who told you about this?"
Man,
he have some old ass vinyl,
right?
Like this artist made like I don't know, Barry White or something. I have this very rare vinyl, Barry White, and like you said, he'd be like, "Man, how did you find that, man? That's like one of my favorite. I've been looking for that."
Well, I seen this one where he had an artist and his father. I forgot who it was. Some famous artist. His father was in the music industry. He pulled up some underground shit his father made, like some underground vinyl tape, that his father made, and dude was like, "Yo, what the? I can't even find this."
Yeah, because these Edomites, and what's it say? The wicked watches the righteous and seeketh the slave.
And not only that, Slaki, but you also be pointing out how he be walking with them detectives that could go on the crime scene and break all that shit down that. Yeah. That's all from within them. The most I give them all that nonsense, man.
Psalm 64:6. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search.
An example of searching out iniquity is, let's pull his records up from when he was in high school. Let's see his juvenile record. Some motherfuckers just search out iniquities.
About murderers. It says they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search.
Because Esau, he'll hop on a plane and he'll go way to motherfucking China. He had an apartment over here for a couple of months. Let's go over here. Let's go ask the neighbors questions about. Like Esau do that.
They got movies about it now. Trust me, they'll do it.
Esau diligent.
With the Young Thug situation, Jake was talking about it. Like, hey man, them feds, man, them motherfuckers be in them offices fucking bored. They ain't got shit to do but to look at your ass.
Search out the niggas.
And they got it in all them crime shows. They always got that little nerd. The forensic scientist can break down anything.
He got that scope and he looking and he get the little evidence and he walk slowly to where. Man, them motherfuckers, man, that's diligent.
They got this Lumino. When if the fingerprint is not there visibly, they spray some Lumino and it'll highlight.
Show you where the nigga bled
at. They got the light. They know the lights to use and shit. They got the little glasses and they
searching out iniquity.
Like, damn. Then they find a little bitty piece of hair. You know what I mean? And then somehow get DNA off of that.
Fibers.
And match it to your DNA. Like, man, y'all motherfuckers. Yeah, y'all wise as damn.
It says both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
Man. And they deep, man. Them secret councils that they have. The secret councils, the G7 summits, all that. They be brainstorming shit.
Think tanking.
They go think tanking. Yeah. They be doing all that, man.
That's why they're so proud, because they're able to get all this data, in a quick moment, man.
Yeah.
But that's why it says, is there any more wisdom in Team? Because we're teaming our Germans, because the Lord's going to withdraw all that wisdom.
Is there any more wisdom found in Team?
And say they're going to leave it too.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the reason why they get all this secret wisdom is because the Lord allows those demons on the left-hand side to give them information. Let's get Isaiah 47 after you get that. Yeah. Witchcrafts.
47, verse 9. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day: the loss of children and widowhood.
And how Esau gonna lose all that? By way of that nuclear destruction, man. You know, because that nuclear destruction is gonna take 1 hour for this whole place to be destroyed. You know? Yeah.
They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries.
Yeah, these sorceries, man. You know, these drugs. Walgreens right here,
Right at that one.
on the corner. You know, which they got the symbol of a hydrant part, the wand, which pharmakia, I mean pharmacy goes back to the Greek word pharmakia, which means a witchcraft, enchantments. You know, so Esau put sorcery. So Esau put all these demons on these people by way of these drugs, man. You know?
And you see how these Edomite women, that's what the priests wore. Priests wore something like that, but better.
Yeah, but you know, you see the cartoons, you know, with the witches, you know, they be having, you know, whipping around the cauldron, man. What do you think they making, man? They making drugs. That's why they look all sucked up, all like junkies, man. And you look at real life, you see that shit. You know, so,
And also sorcery too, like they wicked left-handed priesthood goes up to the Most High and prays to him that your people are going off. But Esau is the one that's putting these sons about upon our people. You know?
Yeah, scripture say, "Woe unto him that giveth, that thou mayest see nakedness."
Here it is, you say our people wicked because they eat pork and stuff, but you got pork production companies that's producing the pork.
I know one that. What's that? Farmer John, right there in the city of Vernon.
Damn, I haven't heard that in a while.
Farmer John, right there in the city of Vernon. All they do is slaughter out pigs and shit.
Remember that? Farmer John.
But every day they find new ways to incorporate porcine into every product in the household and in the world. You know, which is a pork-based product. Every beef sausage got a pork casing
Even
on
in
it.
Holly.
Yeah.
I mean, they got some you can go to. You know what you got to do? You got to go to like an actual small meat market.
Yeah, mine
Like
pop.
they got one on Slauson in the 3rd Ave, Mama's Chicken, and it's spicy chicken links, and it's chicken cases.
Cool.
Yeah.
Everything got those natural pork.
it's gonna be nothing compared to what's gonna happen over here, man.
It's gonna be custom made from here.
Custom made.
Custom.
On these people he ruled over, you know, and he used it by way of social media, actual media, whether it's newspapers, news.
Put it in the movies
Put it
and
in
on
the
TV
movies.
shows.
Then he pays rappers millions of dollars to talk about a sin and iniquity, man. Which music have a high level, you know, vibration to it. You know, the certain instruments you use, certain frequencies, along with the words that's spoken. So it's just like you're literally under spells and different like
And it's pushed
witchcraft.
forth as a major influence.
Yeah. Like when Jay-Z, he was talking about Cristal, every nigga was drinking Cristal. You know, then Meg Thee Stallion, she talking about Douce. Everybody was drinking Douce. Everybody dressed a certain way. Lil Wayne would come out and he'd wear his clothes or the dreads or the tattoos.
They make a record about red bottom shoes. Every girl walk around with the red bottom shoes.
So music have
Major influence.
Major influence on people, man.
And nothing is new under the sun because you know you have the Babylonian king, the Nebuchadnezzar, when he put up that idol, you know he had people playing the music and having people bow down to it.
Yeah.
So it was the same thing, man.
Yeah,
Nothing is new
yeah.
under the sun, man. And now you got people worshiping witchcraft. You got Jake in the middle of a pentagram doing rituals, man. You know.
And everything they do is pagan and satanic. You know, every last birthday cake, bro. You know what I'm saying? Every Mother's Day card, all that pagan and satanic.
And it's not these Jakes, but you know these Jakes are satanic, man. But it's these devils that's also telling these Jakes, all right, get in the music video and start the music video in the middle of a Baphomet, in the middle of a pentagram, and you know just lead Israel astray, man. Because these Jakes ain't though.
And Jake would be like, laugh at it first, but if they see their favorite rapper doing it, they'll do it.
Yeah.
Look at the influence. You know, breaking the law is what they do, the first thing you see on the rapper is his whole body, top to bottom, covered in tattoos. Willful sin.
And then they come out, they smoking weed, Molly,
Singing about Molly's,
lean.
lean.
And then Jake, he goes out and does it. And what that does is that causes crime to happen in the neighborhood because niggas ain't in their right mind. And then niggas, they fill up the jail, the prison house. So it's like Esau, he gets his money back like that.
Like that.
It ain't nothing for him to invest a couple of $1 million in this nigga record deal when all he do is promote is murder. You know, drill rap, drill music, and trapping and all that shit. Jake does that. 2-3 years, Esau done made 100-fold off that.
And every million he invests in the music business, he put that $2 million towards the prison system.
Yeah, he assigned a rapper to push out selling drugs, and then Esau, he goes and puts the drugs in the neighborhood.
And the guns.
But anyway, let's get back to over here. And the guns, man.
Verse 10, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness.
See, Esau has trusted in his witchcraft, his sorcery, you know, his technology, his medicine,
His agenda.
you know, his different things that he have spoken of behind closed doors in these secret councils. Esau, he trusts in all that because the Lord prospered that wickedness on the left-hand side, because in the prophecies we had to be down under these devils. You know, but see, the men of the Lord, starting with our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, have a spirit on them from on high to push forth those works of righteousness. Yeah. And Esau can't come and, you know, he gonna try to do his thing, but he can't destroy this.
I got a quick piece of that you just said. The reason why they trust in wisdom is because they prosperous. This is Psalm 73 and verse 12. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world, they increase in riches.
That's all you see Edomites do. Then they leave their substance to their babes. You know?
And Jake tried to do the same thing, not knowing that you on that purpose. You know?
Yeah.
You can't have your money and stuff and your houses and stuff. That's not gonna go to your offspring, because after that, you dead, they gonna take that shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Alright, continuing on. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me.
It's science. You know, that's another wickedness that these devils trust in.
Yeah.
And they want you to trust in. That's why when these different pestilence come out, they show you right there on the screen. Oh, look at the data. Oh yeah, and you know, data shows us, or the science. What does the science say? The science say this and that. And they want you to trust that. You know what I mean? To believe it.
Well, hey, you could put a black thing behind you, put a little camera thing, and get how your bones look like an X-ray thing. On the moment, take a few minutes to process. Boom, they got how your bones look like, your insides and everything.
And the end of that verse say, none seeth us. So until now, they was walking around in secrecy and privacy.
The Illuminati's, the secret council, the shadow government. You know, their power was secrecy and being able to push things out and it not fall directly on them in the side of the world. But see, what fucked Esau up was the prophecies. You know what I mean? Isaiah, like we read in Isaiah 14, that's just literally uncovering the nakedness of who Esau is. Uncovering or exposing who the devil that the Bible speaks of. And see, the Bible, it deals with characteristics, behaviors, you know, different the attitudes of, you know, people.
No, that's why it says, test my Lord Yahweh Shai is a good prophecy.
I was thinking that.
No one can upset prophecy. Because it was said you was going to do it before you even did it. You know, so you can't fight against it.
And that's the funny thing too, because you know, as Scripture says, not see it, because you know these devils thought they were all in hidden and doing things in hidden. But the fact that people are waking up to what they're doing means that Yahweh Shai has been watching these devils this whole time, man.
Well, just like the account that we was reading about Jeroboam. Jeroboam seen his wife disguised, and then
she's 2 Timothy 3rd chapter. You can't say that all them spirits is in the earth right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, another example is Elisha, you know, when he was giving out positions of the Assyrians. The Assyrian king, he went and sent a whole army to try and get a bishop, but guess what? He blinded the whole army, man. Without raising a finger. That spirit, that's power, man. That's power, man. You know what frequency you gotta be in to tell your disciple, hey, man, fear not, you know, and then pray to the Lord, you know, to open up his eyes. You see all the chariots around you, all right, and then you ask the Lord, pray to the Lord to blind that army. They blind it, and then you take that army, you take it to Israel, and then you spare the army. The king of Assyria got sons, man.
That's spiritual because they know that one prophet of the Lord and the whole army of Assyria came for listen. That means in these times Esau know how valuable is one prophet of the Lord is.
Yeah.
You know? So that's how you know. I mean, I'm just speaking.
And you know what? Oh, good. Make your point, bro.
You know, just real quick, you know, highly valuable man because you got the truth.
Yeah. And you know what? That also proved, going back to what we were saying through the spirit, characteristics of, nations of people. Now we know that Israelites have a history of it'd be one man, and then it'd be an army of men coming against that one person. Like you said, Elisha, Yahushua, Elijah. Now here, we've seen it. One Jake get pulled over, 10 cops come. You don't see that happening with no Moabites. You don't see that happen with no Ammonites. You don't see that happen with Esau unless Esau went out and did a mass killing at a school or something, grocery store. You don't see that happening with no Arabs. Here it is, Esau to demonize these damn Arabs, but you never hear, oh yeah, it was one Arab on the corner, he was acting up, and 10 police cars came.
Never.
Elam, you don't hear that about no other nation, but one Jake, and we've seen it out here right across the street. One Jake.
Cars and helicopters.
Helicopters, police cars for one Jake.
You saw that one where you had that one Jake, he was a cracker, he was running away from like 50 cops, man. He was just juking them all and shit. Hey, man, we're not the same, man. We are not the same, man. Esau need them 50 cops for that one Jake.
They do.
God. All right, so continuing on, and it sees, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge.
Yeah, thy wisdom, thy knowledge, which is his technology. His scientists, his NASA,
His
algorithms, his ISS, them Hubble scopes. And them Hubble scopes is becoming a testimony against you. Because they're showing you what's going to come and destroy you.
Prophecies.
It's chariots. Like I said, it was one chariot on there that looked like a golden snowflake, man. Different sizes, variations. All Esau could have done was just turn it off, man. I don't even want to see it.
Apostle Obama made a point that when on WhatsApp, she has such answers. He made a point that like they probably been wanting to cut the feet off, but the Spirit of the Lord had to keep going.
Yeah. And had that Issachar bring it out.
Yeah.
They're commentating. Like Howard Cosell.
Oh my God!
Yeah, he was dismayed at the size of heaven for sure.
As you should, man. As you should. He's calling his people pendejos, man. You pendejos have to wake up. You pendejos have to, you're talking about the aliens and things, but hey.
I need answers. He was crazy.
Hey man, these people
need
terrified when the Lord Yahushua, man.
Yeah, he acted according to his measure. At the end of the day, man. He acted according. He didn't have the truth, but hey, he should be dismayed and he should be scared, man. Lord, hey, Isaiah 66 and 15. The Lord ain't coming here to fucking play patty cake, get around a campfire, sing Kumbaya with these nations.
Let's get that in Isaiah 66 and 15.
Yeah.
Because the Lord Yahushua, man, he come in such a way that all you gonna have to do, only thing to do is to bow down. Like I said, you gonna see aircrafts in different shapes and colors defying the laws of gravity, increasing, dividing itself.
Isaiah 66:15. Behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke flames of fire.
Yeah, so the Lord Yahushua, he ain't playing when he comes. He coming on aircrafts, and he's coming to get busy.
Verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord Yahweh plead with all flesh. And we look at that word plead in the Hebrew, it Hebrew word Shabbat, which means to judge.
Like the scripture, like the scholars call white throne judgment. How Shai come, it's judgment day.
And the slain of the Lord Yahweh shall be many.
Yeah, it's going to be many millions of people that's going to get destroyed out here, man. It's like we read in Esdras, there shall be many that perish in this life because they forsook the way of the Lord. So,
Man back.
yeah, go ahead.
This is Revelation 1:7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him.
So in this Revelation 1st chapter, it says clouds. Here it says whirlwinds. Then in Revelation 6, it says, what is it, white cloud?
Yeah, white cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And then Daniel, the 2nd chapter, say a stone smote the image upon his feet. You know, Ezra said a mountain. Habakkuk said the chariots of salvation. You know,
Birds.
birds flying. He also said chambers. Enter down to thy chambers. So what is the Lord coming on? He's coming on a so-called UFO, man. They call them UAPs, UAVs.
Yeah. Remember one video they have, it was like in Venezuela, it was years ago I seen it. And one of my brothers posted it, that it was a chariot, but it was like a yellow gold, but it was like glowing. It was just sitting there, like hovering.
Yeah, glowing. It's called an aura.
Yeah, the aura, yeah.
So you know, Ezekiel the 1st chapter speaks about how it was like even the angels, as fire from the loins upward and there's fire from the loins downward. So the angels got a glow, an aura, and the chariots is also known as angels too. Revelation 10. So these aircrafts that the world is terrified of, they have various titles in the Bible, man.
They're called the curse.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And hey, Zechariah said it was a roll. And I ain't talking about no dinner roll.
Ezekiel says a wheel within a wheel.
Yeah. Oh, Ezekiel said wheel within a wheel.
Yeah, when we get to see him, that's when he's gonna be scary. I mean, we know what it is, but I mean, it's be scary to see him close.
Yeah, man, the Lord's gonna shake terribly the earth, man. You know that?
Isaiah 2 and verse 17. And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of man shall be made low. And the Lord Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day.
Yeah, because in that time to come, a lot of people is going to be trusting in the government, trusting in their technology. I mean, even when there was gas shortages, people was at the gas station filling up the back of the truck with gas. When the power is out and it's the EMP attack and none of these cars is working, your cell phone's not working, GPS is not working, 911's not working. Nothing's working for you. That's an example of the Lord bringing down the haughtiness of man, because all this technology and these resources is what makes you proud, man. Look at Esau. Look how proud Esau is. Esau got the earth is given into the hands. He got his technology, like we read in Isaiah 47. Thy wisdom, thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee.
And he wiser than Daniel.
He's wiser than Daniel. He set his nest amongst the stars.
Ooh.
And then he has a mentality of who shall bring me down to the ground. Then he blessed with the sword. He got the ICBM missiles. The Russian Edomites talking about, oh yeah, these missiles, my Sarmat missile can go around the earth and dodge every missile defense system, and it can go up and down walls, over mountains.
They think their house is gonna last forever.
And there forever.
Endure, bro.
So
the mighty man, the scripture says, that's gonna, leap over walls and get through the window. These are things that's created that's defense.
Yeah, so those missiles is gonna be able to dodge any obstacle, because it's missile guided technology. Let's get
Joe.
2nd Esdras 16.
Oh yeah.
The arrows that he shooteth is sharp. Like 8. What does 8 say?
It's like the mighty Lord sendeth the plague.
Yeah.
shot of a strong archer. That's verse 7.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
All right, so 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 7. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer.
Yeah, so what Edges is explaining. If you had a bow and arrow, once you shoot it, it's gonna hit whatever it's gonna hit. It ain't gonna shoot out and then like a boomerang come back. So when the Lord put the spirit on these Russians and these European nations and China, Iran, and all these countries to shoot upon Babylon the Great, they gonna go out. Ain't no they gonna malfunction and they ain't gonna be able to get to their destination. None of that. The Lord ain't turning away an arrow that is shot by an archer. Go ahead.
The Most High gonna be in those guidance systems.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we finna read about that missile guided technology right now.
All right. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. The mighty Yahweh Hashem Yahushua sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?
See, the time that we entered into World War III, or as the scriptures call it, the Third War or Armageddon, the Lord is sending the plagues. The Lord is finna put the spirit on these people to do according to his will. Wait.
A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid?
This is the Lord boasting in his power. Wait.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence.
Big boy talk. Wait.
The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with the waves from the deep.
Yeah, because when these missiles hit, it's going to cause all kind of catastrophes, tsunamis, hurricanes. Like in Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter, it says, was the Lord displeased at the rivers? Was the Lord displeased at the rivers that thou didst rise upon thy chariots of salvation? So, it's going to be sea and the rage warring, like it say in the Gospels.
Not to mention the earth going real to and fro.
Yeah, that's the earthquake. Because the Lord is going to shake terribly the earth, man.
Waves of it are troubled, the fishes thereof also. Before Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, before the glory of his power. Strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp.
Let's stop right there. Strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. The bow is the silo which holds the arrow or holds the missile. And it says that the arrows that he shooteth is sharp. Sharp meaning perfect. When you sharpen a sword, when you sharpen the head on the arrow, you sharpening it so it can be perfect when it penetrates something. It can get straight through. So the sharpness of these ICBM missiles is the ICBM missile guided technology.
Right.
That is what makes them sharp. That is what makes these missiles perfect, because they're going to come steadfastly, as it say in 2 Ezra 15, into Babylon. They're going to come directly. They ain't going to be colliding with each other. They ain't going to be malfunctioning in the heavens. They're going to go straight to their target. Boom.
They're going to be crafted for maximum effectiveness.
Yeah, because the Lord created the smith that burneth the coals in the fire. So the Lord put the spirit on these scientists to have the technology to put in these missiles so they can be made to perfection.
I was just going to say, the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is in these missiles, man. Scripture's telling you. He's the one that's, doing this. Meaning he's going to be in there. He's the father of spirits.
Yeah.
He's the one that's going to be putting the spirit on these devils to do it. And when the missiles get launched, all right, guess what? His spirit's going to be in there, man. He might have the chariots guiding him, however he's going to do it, but his spirit's going to be there and they're going to hit their mark.
In Joel 2, he likened them unto an army of mighty men that shall run and climb wall like men of war, and march every one on his ways, and shall not break their ranks.
Yeah.
Meaning they're not going to miss where they're going. They're going to go right to where they're going.
You're not going to find no warhead sticking out of Antarctica somewhere in the iceberg, man.
Oops, I missed. Ain't going to be none of that. No duds, none of that.
These ICBM missiles ain't finna be like fireworks, man.
You know what I'm saying?
You getting a bad batch. I remember one year back in the world, you light something fireworks, it would explode.
Missile.
And the scripture called a missiles are the Lord's sword. So
Huh.
you don't think the sword is going to perfect his sword?
You're gonna be bathed in heaven, man.
His own weapons.
Yeah, the missiles is also called the glittering spirit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say too, you know, dealing with these missiles, all right, you have a missile, right? A missile. Inside that missile are warheads, man. That's another thing that contributes to the sharpness of it, man, the lethality and the effectiveness of it. Because you're gonna have one missile that's gonna get launched out the silo, all right, and on the way here, when it gets into a certain distance,
altitude. Yeah.
not altitude, a certain distance from Babylon,
Right.
all right, the warhead is gonna activate. Basically, that missile's gonna split up into
Activate.
a million, like not a million, but it's gonna split up into like 50
Yeah,
warheads.
certain components drop off the ICBM missile, and then what it's going to do to damage is the actual warhead itself.
Right.
Yeah, like you got the tip, that's gonna open up, and then you're gonna
Nose
have
cone.
smaller, rockets, smaller missiles that's gonna go and hit their targets, man. And
Not
each,
missiles, warheads.
Yeah,
Because
warheads.
inside of the nose cone, that is going to come off.
Yeah.
And then some of these missiles have like 100 warheads.
Mm.
And then those warheads, they going to have certain locations to hit.
Exactly.
You know?
They're gonna be programmed to go. Some are gonna go to Dallas, some are gonna go to Florida,
New York.
I pray a lot of them hit Florida.
Vegas.
Vegas, man. with the hope that the Akim out there get delivered. You know what I mean? All right. So continuing on in the reads. All right. Verse 13. Continuing on, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, shall not miss.
Shall not miss. They ain't missing, oh, this one flew past Babylon. It ain't going to be none of that.
You're gonna find sometime
Oh,
like
shit, the missile's going past Babylon. What the
like-
fuck?
Lord, he don't make mistakes, man.
you
Lord
gonna
is not
find
like man to make
No.
mistakes.
No.
hey,
Perfection.
500 years into the kingdom, you're gonna be playing with Leviathan. He's gonna puke out a missile that he ate because it fell out.
Nah, ain't none of that shit.
None of that.
All right. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the earth of the world,
And that's how you know that it's talking about ICBM missiles, because it speaks about an arrow being shot at the end of the world. The Americas is the end of the world. Civilization started in the east, and the end of the world, or as it says in Acts, the first chapter, the uttermost part of the earth is the Americas, man, and chiefly Babylon the Great.
Because Esau's here,
Yeah.
reigning.
And it's on
Scripture
the
said,
left-hand side.
Yeah.
time.
Wickedness.
I mean, the Most High is beautiful how he
And the Most
made
High
it.
say, Esau is the end of the world.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's, I mean, the Most High is very, very poetic. Very, very poetic. All right, Akim, brace yourself. There's a march coming down here. I don't know if they're gonna come past here. But just stay locked in the spirit. We actually got a couple of minutes anyway. We almost at the 2-hour mark. Oh, you know what? Let's wrap up. Spirits are all done. Hey, so with that, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. And double honors to our elders and apostles, great millstone that taught us the truth. We out here, it's a march or something that's going to come right past here. And as it is written, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hide
You know what I'm saying?
We'll hide ourselves. Shalom.
Probably
Aleichem.
some abortion shit.
Uh.
that's gonna be bring nothing.